There have been times when I, like you, just simply had to call up a girlfriend and vent. Times where I got on my knees, as the song "The Warrior is a Child" by Twyla Paris describes. I drop my sword and cry for just a while, 'cause deep inside this armor, the warrior is a child. Throughout my childhood and early adult years, as I would experience the struggles we all go through, my faith grew deeper and deeper. The Lord was the one who was constant. Through it all, I've tried to take the road less traveled and head the way that may look uncertain, especially if I feel it is where God is ultimately calling me to serve Him and others. And no matter what, He has always gotten me through and never abandoned me. He was always there. He still is. He is the reason I was able then and now to focus on the positives in my life, the blessings, and to take risks without fear. When it's your turn to serve is meant to guide you, the listener, toward wearing the mantle, toward accepting the challenge, toward leading where you are called, to illustrate how, on my own journey, I was blessed by letting go of the safe and secure and embracing the risky and unknown. I learned the truth behind Psalm chapter 19, verses 9b and 10. The decrees of the Lord are firm, and all of them are righteous. They are more precious than gold, than much pure gold. They are sweeter than honey from the honeycomb. When it's your turn to serve. Chapter 1. Bees. Foraging honeybees have to fly around 55,000 miles to make a pound of honey, traveling to about 2 million flowers. I was running barefoot and free as a kid across a large field of grass and clover at a playground, and I remember it vividly. I stepped smack dab on a bee. It's not the kind of experience that makes a kid love bees, and I was no different. Like most children, I was wary of bees, knowing how much that sting can hurt. But in February 2013, I found myself sitting in a room full of other spouses of governors at the National Governors Association's annual meeting. Governors and their spouses convene at a bipartisan meeting once a year in Washington, D.C. to share ideas. Although each party also has their own separate sessions during the 4-day weekend. I looked forward to this gathering each year while I was the First Lady of Indiana. Since the tenure of a governor is 4 years, discussing ideas and offering examples of what other spouses had done meant the spouses didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Once the election is over, the job of a first spouse begins in full force. It can be a confusing and stressful time. Everything is new. All of a sudden, you are expected to fill a role you've likely never been in before, all while getting your family adjusted to this new lifestyle. This organization comes alongside the spouses, providing advice and suggestions for maneuvering through this strange new reality. I welcomed how these experienced spouses took the newcomers under their wing, sharing the wisdom they had gleaned as they served. I had a lot to learn. Even though I had been a congressional spouse, I knew I wanted to use my time as First Lady of Indiana to make a difference. But where to start? This particular year, Ginger Beebe, the First Lady of Arkansas, delivered a fascinating presentation. She gave an entire demonstration sharing how she had bees at the Arkansas governor's mansion. Of course, we all technically had bees buzzing around our gardens, but she had a beehive. This was extraordinary to me. I had heard of colony collapse disorder, when most of the worker bees in a colony desert a hive, leaving the queen behind with food and some nurse bees to care for the young ones. I had heard about how we needed to come alongside our bees because some argue they are endangered.